What's up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here. It's time for me to do the 2013 album review on the new album from Death Angel entitled The Dream Calls for Blood. Now for those who don't know, Death Angel are an American thrash metal band from California. This is their 7th full-length studio album, follow-up to Relentless Retribution, which came out in the year of 2010, and this had been my big introduction to Death Angel, and in my opinion guys, they are one of my new favourite thrash metal bands of all time, besides a few others like Havoc, Hatred, and I've been a big Evile fan myself, and you know, there's just been all of these other thrash metal bands that are just really great, and Death Angel had been one of those most popular thrash acts, and also they've been very influential. So The Dream Calls for Blood is definitely one of my most favorite albums of 2013. That's just how much I absolutely adore this album, and it's 47 minutes long, but when you buy the digibook edition like I did, it includes the Black Sabbath tune of Heaven and Hell, which is covered from this band, which is included on this album. So this is definitely a really big release from this band. And, well, it's just like their previous efforts. So, Nuclear Blast Records had been one of my favourite record labels of all time. There have been so many amazing 2013 albums that has the Nuclear Blast Records name on it. For examples, Carcass with Surgical Steel, Soulfly with Savages, Soilworks double album The Living Infinite, amongst others. So this album is just completely packed with non-stop aggression from start to finish, and every song on this album are just very in your face for what they are, and I pretty much love every single song on this album. And it's nearly, it's definitely one of the albums that is nearly a big 100% score. There's just so many damn great killer songs on the album, for songs like Left for Dead, Son of the Morning, Fallen, my favorite song, the title track, The Dream Calls for Blood, and there was Detonate, Empty, and just every song on this album are just very good stuff from start to finish. And the producer for the album is Jason Sukoff, and I remember him being, in my opinion, one of my favorite producers, and he did the production work on some of Trivium's albums involving Ascendancy and The Crusade, and all of the other albums that he had produced. And I remember his production from a lot of these albums that have been very well done. And his production on this album is just out of this world. It's definitely phenomenal. And like I said, every song on this album is just you know, full of aggression, just full of anger basically, and this had to be one of the most heaviest thrash albums of modern thrash out there. And my favourite modern thrash album of all time is Phantom Antichrist by Creator. Well, The Dream Calls for Blood will have to be one of the best. And I have to say that this album, with Evile's Skull, are now a tie that are contenders for my favorite thrash albums of this whole entire year. And it's just absolutely tremendously great, from the amount of time that Death Angel could make music this perfect. And I will have to give Death Angel lots of credit from this album for their whole discography, basically. So, the vocals from Mark on this album, absolutely amazing, and he has this very, very strong, powerful, in-your-face, shouty, screamy type of vocals, and it's a bit like Tom Araya from Slayer, and Mark's vocals on here are pretty much similar like that, and his vocals really does have the amount of energy, and he can really nail anything off on this album. And Will's drumming on the album, Will's drumming throughout all the songs are just definitely incredible, and it's like that he's been banging the drums really, really hard, and the sound of it is just, very punchy sounding, and just the very hard hitting sound from the snare drum to the bass drum, and the very beautiful top-notch sound of the cymbals, just everything, and his drumming keeps everything in time throughout the fast speed, and he's just a very, very, very skilled drummer. The bass guitar work from Damien is also really great as well, and his playing is just pretty much really heavy, and the sound of it as well is just pretty much really quite loud, with the very thick, low sound on the bass guitar, and the sound of it is just really, really cool. And the guitar work from Rob and also Ted, the guitar works from Ted and Rob are really amazing too, and the way that they play and write their songs for the album, they have just been non-stop awesome, with just a lot of these riffs that they played that's just really, really quick and fast-paced, and a lot of their guitar playing on the album is full of complexity, and the guitar solos on the album are also really well darn impressive on the album, and this has to be definitely one of the most impressive thrash albums I've ever heard in a long time, and that's just how much I really do love and adore this album to absolute pieces. So yeah, the musicianship of the album just been going really, really well from the band, and it's just a really, really big release from this band, and definitely check this album out, and it's just definitely one of my most favorite releases of 2013, and let me know what you guys think of this whole album by typing down below in the comments, and I've just been very, very happy that I've bought Death Angel's new album, and it's just definitely a really strong album throughout their discography, and I will be more than likely to be checking out their other albums, but I have to say that The Dream Calls for Blood had to be one of the best releases of modern thrash metal, and you will just instantly love everything on the album, from track to track. The whole heavy-ass instrumentation of complexity from the really thick, heavy sound on the guitars, and the aggressive style of drumming, and the strong, top-notch vocal style, and the songs in general just blew my whole freaking mind. So that's just really all I've got to say about The Dream Calls for Blood by Death Angel, and I'm going to give this album a strong 9.5 out of 10, and you know, just enjoy it, buy it, and just listen to it all the way through, and you'll just keep loving it and loving it and loving it, and it's just fantastic. So Death Angel, you did a really phenomenal job for this album. So thank you guys for watching, and like I said, check out this album. Do it for me, do it for Death Angel. I've got to go now. I've got to listen to this album again. Keep it metal.